You know what though, like, if we keep it extremely real, I think we all predicted that we weren't going to win this game because we've been in this situation time and time and time again where a club who's been useless throughout the season sacks their manager. Of course, magically, they're playing against us next, and then every single time these teams turn Super Saiyan and we just don't win. And I feel particularly stupid because imagine I went for a 3-1 win to us in our match preview, and you know what? I had absolutely no conviction when I said that. It was more hopeful, if I'm being honest. And today, you guys, we saw probably the worst performance this season. And I say this confidently because I didn't see many positives in the game today. I saw individual error after error after error. And it seemed to stem from not only the players today, but also in Frank Lampard. And you know what? I'll always keep my thoughts and opinions extremely real. I personally feel like he was the main culprit at fault for why this team was so poor against Everton today. Now, I get it. From a manager's perspective, he's thinking of the tough, draining Christmas period where you have so many games coming consecutively. And of course, we've got that massive game against Lille next week. And we need to win that game to qualify and obviously go through into the Champions League. So I understand why Lampard maybe tinkered with the team a bit. But I really feel like this unnecessary tinkering has had a negative effect on the team. And, I'm just going to say it straight today. Some culprits today were Azpilicueta, everyone in the defence, apart from Reece James, of course. Some of the forward players and Willian and your Pulisic as well. And you know what? I feel like we saw a poor team performance today because the back four wasn't on point. Now, before I get into things, you guys, of course, I'm Mini FC, the Sisbury Lions TV. And welcome to the match review of the annoying, frustrating, predictable defeat against Everton today. I'll be speaking about so many things. If you want to understand why our defense was so poor today, this is the video for you. I'll be explaining to you guys why, from a tactical perspective, we kind of gave the game to Everton and why we had no solutions against them. But before I do that, one quick plug. Now, I don't even want to do this because I'm still pissed off after the game, but I have to. 25% off for the third away kit right now. It's a one-off 25% sale. Black Friday's over. If you guys are looking for the opportunity to get this kit, today could be the perfect time for you. You'll find links below in the description, but wasting no more time, you guys. Getting back into things. And the first area I want to focus on is the mistakes made by Frank Lampard. Now, for me, this unnecessary tinkering with our back four has not benefited us at all whenever Lampard's turned to it. Aspie and Zuma, I understand why Lampard has them playing together because Lampard's thinking, listen, down that right hand side, Zuma and Aspie have been playing so much this season that they do have a bit of a partnership and relationship, but it just doesn't work when these guys have to move to the left-hand sides. The area of the pitch is completely different. The passing angles are completely different. How you control the ball as well is slower. How many times does Aspie and Zuma have to control the ball first with their left foot before they can pass it with their right? On the opposite flank, you rarely see that because the ball is forever coming on their stronger foot. And in that first damn goal we conceded right at the start of the game, of course, Cover letting a runner in behind him, but he tried to salvage the situation. There was that split confusion between Aspie and Kurt Zuma. Both players didn't know who was going to go out wide to help close the spaces down. Instead, they revert back into their own half, leaving Cover outmanned by himself. There was no way in hell he had enough time to close down Sidibe. And from that point on, I was just shitting myself because I saw the bodies that Everton had in our books. I saw all the late arrivals, and it was no surprise why Richarlison got that goal against us. But I keep saying it, you guys. I personally feel that if we had seen Zuma playing in his normal position on the right-hand side, alongside Reece, with Tomori playing down the left, and, Tomori has been our best left-hand-sided defender this season, with Emerson at left-back, I feel the outcome in this game is completely different. Again, Everton bombing down that right-hand side. Azpilicueta is useful in games like ones against City and Liverpool. Games where you are going to be holding your position, reverting back in your own half with mid to low blocks. That's Aspie's game. When he has support around him, that's how he's at his very best. But in games like this where he's going to be isolated, where he needs to have a lot of offensive responsibilities, he is not the guy. Now, I understand, listen, Pulisic wasn't as helpful in today's game. But I mean, whatever position Aspie plays in, he just cannot effectively link up with wingers in our team. No matter who he's playing with, he can't do it. He's the bottleneck. And I understand why Lampard picks him, because Lampard's thinking, I need a tiny bit of experience in this team. I need some experience at the back. But I just think, listen, if you're going to play this style of football, we need to fully invest in it. We can't half-ass it anymore. Aspie is a weak link. Games like this, he gets targeted, teams attack down his flank. How many times this season have we conceded goals down the side Aspie's playing in? It happens time and time again, and some of the mistakes that I see, I just don't see it when Emerson's there. You know, when Zuma's playing on the right-hand side, his best position where he can play on his stronger foot, covering the spaces, making those last-ditch tackles, and us being a defensive king, that's how you see the very best. When you move him to the left-hand side, he needs to have some playmaking abilities in his game. He is not as effective passing from the left as he is passing from the right. It was completely unnecessary, and in that sense, that confusion at the back, because there was no, consistent, straightforward defensive line, was what cost us in the game. Now, you might not think this is a big deal, but it is. In football, where you have 10 outfield players, there's going to be a natural trickle-down effect whenever players aren't performing on point. I mean, imagine it, if Aspie can't do anything with the ball down the left-hand side, that's going to affect what Pulisic can do. And if Pulisic can't be in those areas in the half spaces, well, that's going to affect what Mason Mount can do, because that means Mason then has to drop even deeper to be that guy to help in our build-up phase, meaning that he can't play close to Tammy Abraham. This is how this tactical shit works, you guys, When I look at football and when I look at tactics, I kind of see every player in the team as like a part in a machine. They're like one of the cogs, one of the gears, and to get this machine running, all of them have to be working in synchronicity together. That's how this stuff works. The minute 2 or 3 players can't do what they're doing because the tactics ain't with them, everything goes downhill. And I think that's the main reason why we got this defeat against Everton. I mean, Everton were very difficult to play against today. Extremely difficult, and they used a tactic that I've seen quite a few teams use against us, and we've kind of had very success against it. Now, what Everton did today, you guys, was they stopped us playing balls into midfield. They wanted us to have the balls in the wide areas, and from then on, they were extremely aggressive, man marking us down the wide areas, winning possession back, and it's why we couldn't do much at all. Now, the only reason why we were able to even start doing things in the game was when Mason Mount was dropping deep in that left side channel to, to be that balance and to become a passing option for your Zumas, your Aspies, and when he did that, Pulisic was able to move in the half space and etc, but it just wasn't done consistently enough. Our midfield struggled today. Everton had a game plan. Whenever Kova or Kante were on the ball, they consistently had about 2 players running at them, closing them down, and it was why it was so hard, because when these guys were on the ball getting closed down like this, they need effective passing options out wide. Now, down that left-hand side with Aspie, it's never going to come. How many times was this guy consistently giving the ball away? It wasn't good enough. It was not good enough, and it's just like I'm seeing these small, maybe inexperienced errors from Lampard's. And I think that they were the main reasons why the team really struggled against Everton. I mean, Everton really profited from individual mistakes. How many teams are profiting from errors from our own self? It happens too often, you guys. And I think at times it comes because maybe Lampard's selection isn't always on point when it needs to be. I know this review's sounding a bit negative, but I mean, of course it's going to be negative because we lost in a very disappointing manner. At the end, I'll focus on a few positives, but that's not the main topic of my conversation. Today, the game plan wasn't right from the first. We didn't have any solutions to get past Everton, and when we did, that consistency wasn't there. I need to say it straight, Lampard from now on, Emerson has to play. I understand why he uses Aspie, as I said before, that experience. He wants to have a leadership type of right at the back. He wants that experience, but it just isn't needed. We've seen against West Ham's, we've seen against Valencia's, Ajax's, Sheffield United's. I can go on, you guys. Aspie cannot be part of the first team in games like this. He doesn't have those technical attributes we need. But anyway, you guys, I'm just going to continue on with the match review. Now, the only saving grace in the first half is that as the first half ended, we started to slowly get into the game. We were finding a lot of opportunities down Everton's left-hand side, where most of the creative stuff we did was coming from that flank. So when the half-time whistle blew and when the second half started, you know what, maybe I was feeling stupidly optimistic. I'm going to say it, just stupidly optimistic, because I thought, okay, these guys are going to continue that intensity and bring the game to Everton in the second half. But real talk, it just feels like we're in this like never-ending Groundhog Day. We conceded in the first half in 4 minutes. It was like the identical thing in the second half. Calvert-Lewin, one of the least technical forwards in this league, getting a goal against us in a typical fashion, I have to say. But the defending was just stupidly comical. Like Zuma kicking the ball in the air, Christensen not dealing with it, and then lucky deflections. I mean, come on, you guys. By far Zuma's worst game this season. But again, as I'm stressing, if Zuma was playing down that right hand side and he's not playing in an area where, he has to use his right foot down the left hand side, is he going to be forced into making stupid clearances like that? No, because we don't see that down the right hand side. When we look at defeats like this, let's analyze the context behind why these defeats happen in the first place. I can imagine everyone's going to be reactionary. This guy's shit. This guy's not good enough. Blah, 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 blah. Sign players, sign players, sign players. You can imagine it's going to be like that. But, we have to take our emotions aside for a second and let's realize it's the first year development for a lot of these academy guys playing first team football for this team. It's not going to be perfect when a first team is consisting of 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds. I mean, come on. I really hope that people see the bigger picture and have an open perspective. We are going to struggle in games like this at times. We are not the finished article just yet. We must look at Liverpool as an example for how we need to grow and develop. Liverpool, it's taken them 4 seasons to be in the position where they're the clear favourites to win the league. 4 seasons. It might be similar for us, and as fans, we have to take it, we have to accept it, and we have to enjoy the process. But of course, at times, games like this are going to be extremely frustrating. When Everton got that second goal, you're just thinking, oh, game over, game over. But out of nowhere, Kovacic with an incredible goal. I mean, it was kind of like Toni Kroos in the sense that my guy just basically passed it in the bottom left corner. As I keep saying, when Kovacic scores goals, it's like it takes my brain 5 seconds to just realise what the hell's happened. Today, he tried his best. He was inventive. He made things happen. Him and Kante, from an offensive point of view, were trying to make things happen. I feel like they weren't helped by the system and by Everton's game plan against them. Maybe Lampard could have helped things up by having a consistent midfield 3. Maybe that could have been more useful. But again, I can understand why he didn't do that. But honestly, you guys, from that point on, it's 2-1. We saw a great goal. We're starting to control the game a bit against Everton. You're thinking, okay, with the right substitutions, we're going to make this happen. But my only thing was, what was taking so long for the subs? And then, you're going to sub off Reece to bring on Mitchie, which I understand. 3-3-4. You want to try and get back in the game. But why the hell is Aspie still on the field? What did he offer at all? I mean, come on. If you're going to have 2 strikers up front, you don't want Reece to be putting in amazing delivery for them. I mean, even then, why not just have Reece tuck more in midfield to help out at time? I'm not too sure. Again, I'm just a fan. Even though I love the tactics and stuff, I know that I don't know every single thing. You know what? I'm not arrogant like that, but it was frustrating. And it's just like, literally, right after that substitution, the third, probably the stupidest error this season. I don't know what the hell Kepa was thinking about. I don't know how he can even mess up a pass when he's not even being closed down at all. Like, this lack of concentration at times is what's holding Kepa back. If he can overcome this, we do have a special goalkeeper, but it's going to take time. And then even then, we're trying our hardest to, rectify the situation. More luckiness in that sense. But you know what? If we're going to be giving away stupid errors and just making it easy for the opposition, then I don't blame them. And then from that point on, what we'll be doing, spamming long crosses inside the box, doing absolutely nothing, congesting the player in the middle. Completely forgot about Hudson-Odoi. I didn't understand why Hudson did not interchange with Pulisic. He was very poor today. I think he lost the ball 29 times in the course. Aspie was useless in helping link up with the player. Emerson would have been a big help for Pulisic because Pulisic in the half space has been one of the most informed, dangerous players in the league. Currently, when he's out wide, stationed by himself, he doesn't really do much. So the team synergy was not there. The tactics weren't as strong. This was really a poor day in the office. But all I can say, you guys, is what did you expect? It's the first year for a lot of these young guys. Lampard does not have the full squad in his tailor-made image. There's going to be more L's like this that we take as the season progresses. We need to accept that. We need to accept the process because we're only going to grow and get better. Lille's going to be a massive game. I know the players will definitely be up for that. Lampard, I don't want to see Aspie at all in that game. I don't want to see him. But real talk, frustrating loss. And, we are making it hard to get this top 4 place secured. But come on, it was always going to be like that. But I'm going to wrap things up now and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. I might release a news daily video for you guys just to lighten up the mood a bit because it's been disappointing this afternoon. But anyway, I'm going to keep it moving. Thank you for watching. I'm EFC. This is Blue Lions TV. And I'll see you guys later with some more videos.